Hello, everybody. Happy Friday afternoon. Happy day for many people. It's about 4 something, maybe 4:30 or something like that in Michigan. Hey, Glenn. Hello, everybody. So, hey, Dave. Everybody's here. Hey, Patrick. So, today's topic is: how does living in the United States change or affect Ukrainian women? First, I was thinking about the topic to be called "Does living in US change Ukrainian women?" But I think it's very obvious that it does change. The environment is very important and crucial part of our life, and when we change a country, of course, it does change. It does change us in some way. I would not believe that the person who lived a significant amount of time in US or any other country did not change at all and remain absolutely the same. I would say that number one change is probably an change of an outlook on life, change of seeing wider horizons and seeing, learning the American culture. And it really depends, of course, where the person lived before and where the person come to United States, because for many people it will be widen of horizons. For some people who had not who lived in a big city, coming to US in a small town or rural area or some remote area can be very shocking and difficult. But today we're actually going to see about the positive and developmental aspects, because that is number one thing that's important to understand. I believe there is a mentality shift, that world is big, that there are different way of doing things. That's number one. You do have, of course, more possibility here in US, and if your lady worked in Ukraine as a nurse or teacher or I don't know, any kind of scientist, if she when she comes to US, if she decides to pursue that profession and she wants to transfer her degree, number one change that would happen, her mind will expand, because her whole how to say this, her whole outlook on what she is able to achieve will blow her mind. Because for somebody who made $200 a month, or maybe $300, or maybe a little bit more if she's in a private company, or she had some ways to add to that, including or considering these last years that have been very unfortunate for Ukrainian economy. So you bring her here, and even if she starts working somewhere after some time, if she transfers her degree, or even she goes to school over again for 2 years, let's say it's in nursing, and all of a sudden she can make, I don't know, 45, 50, 60, $70,000, her whole outlook on life is going to change. Because guys, you have to understand that in this economy, what's happening right now was is this huge default of hryvnia. People cannot even imagine these numbers. These numbers look astronomical. I wonder if that is the reason for some of the Ukrainian women who ask you continuously for support, because they realizing the difference. And so they sometimes want to go for expensive trips and do expensive things. But here's another thing that happens in US when Ukrainian women come and lives here. She also knows if you make your $60,000, let's say very like average income in somewhere in Michigan, for example, a lot of times, most of this money, if you're just the only one person that works in the family, are spoken for. That's number one thing that Ukrainian women learned here. On the other hand, that yes, if you pursue your let's be talking about jobs today. If you pursue your job, maybe you're an IT person, a nurse, somebody in the medical field, so you learn that, oh my gosh, I can make thousands and thousands of dollars, but if I would be living alone, this money would be basically going toward all the bills I have. It's, mortgage, car insurance, health insurance, all these crazy things. I can't even remember. There are so many things that actually are required here that we don't have in Ukraine, or they are much cheaper. So it's going to blow her mind from one side of what she can achieve, and from another side she will understand you better, and she will not judge you when you're trying to find a deal on something, because she will know that, this is we both make, let's say, roughly $100,000, both of us, or honestly, first it's going to be just you, because it's going to take quite a bit of time for her to get employed. So, but then when it happens, she will still understand why you're doing it, why you're trying to save money and get a good value for whatever you do, because she will realize it's not easy, number one, and number two, a lot of this money are for some serious payments. And if you're a smart person and you're not living from paycheck to paycheck, if you're anywhere above 25 years old, hopefully you are not the one that lives like that. So if you want to save, and so she will understand what savings actually are, because most Ukrainian women have no idea about that. And also that it's nice to get a deal, and that actually, even though you make so much more money, but you have so much more expenses here in US, and also services cost a lot more money than in Ukraine. It's not even comparable. So then she will understand that in some cases, if you are not a wealthy person, it wasn't even that big of a difference, in some ways, because if she in Ukraine, like, let's say before this economical crash, if she was working in a good company, she was making $500, it could have been all her money, all hers, because a lot of times there is their own apartment, or they live with parents, and they don't have insurances, cars, health insurance. They don't have all that stuff. So, unfortunately, it was also mind-blowing for me that many people in the regular towns, just regular workers, they don't have $500 left before the next paycheck. So it really, really depends. But if you go into Ukraine, probably you are higher than this kind of lower level of life. Probably you're doing a little bit better. And, you have a chance to show her a different kind of life, a different standard, and you definitely need to educate Ukrainian or Russian or Belarusian, anybody from post-USSR. You need to educate them in terms of finance, because I can guarantee you we know absolutely zero in terms of finance. We were never taught that, never had a stable currency. So in Ukraine, when you're saving, you might lose a lot of money, because you have today 5,000 hryvnia. Today it's $1,000. After 2 months or next year, it's $200, because somebody decided to go into war. And so you could have been on a vacation, you could have bought yourself a new fur coat or whatever. Now you can do anything. So that's one of the reasons why Ukrainian women don't save. So how will affect Ukrainian women living in US is she will hopefully will learn the art of saving, and you need to explain her why. You need to explain her why the tomorrow isn't promised, and somebody can lose a job, and it's a serious business here, because unfortunately, we have responsibilities. Well, I don't really think it's unfortunate. I think that we are having lives that we settled for, and I think if you're doing anything in life, you do have responsibilities, and that's your responsibility to explain that to her. Just 1 minute, guys. What's happening?
Nothing.
Okay, I told you. Okay. So take the sound off. Sorry, guys. So yeah, it is your responsibility to explain these things, but hopefully living here will show him new opportunities, new horizons, new possibility financially. Coming back to what I started from, when somebody who makes $200 a month can make 45,000, even 20,000, even to be very honest, even 10,000. When somebody who was making that is gradually can go and work and try that, that's gonna make them feel confident, important. It's gonna make them feel that they can help their family, and it's a really huge boost of confidence, because these people, and I'm one of them. I used to live in Ukraine, and I remember all these things I'm talking about. The only difference with me is that I was always on the entrepreneurial side. Like, I would have a salary that would be one thing, but I would have 5 other things going on. I was very entrepreneurial. I was always trying to help my family, and some people made comments and fun of me, but I would be the last person to leave the office. And I loved working. I loved making money. I loved helping my family. It's this kind of drive, I guess, always been there, and it's a little bit hard for me to relate to a person who, for example, worked in a library in Ukraine, because it's a very tiny, small salary that never grows, never changes, and usually these people have zero ambition, like zero. Also, you would think, library is a wonderful place, but it's extremely low paid in Ukraine. Which, by the way, in US, if you work in a good library in a higher paid state, you actually have to have a degree to work in a library, and you can make a very decent living, as far as I know. So, number one, I believe her one main thing that will change, she will feel a lot more confident once she'll start to be able to use her professional knowledge or gain new skills. She can gain totally new skills. But whatever she will find, whatever she will do, I think, and especially if she's a real woman, by real woman, I mean she's genuine, she wants to be a team. She's not only the person that's wants to use your resources, which is also, it can be okay if you are starting a family and you want to have 3 children in 5 years. That can be an okay story. But if she's the one that want to find her place, if she wants to establish herself here career-wise and her own finance thing going, that's going to be a huge, incredible change. And it's actually a really good thing. She will understand you more. She will be less wasteful, because some Ukrainian women can be they think if you have that much money, they came to you easy. So it's funny how I went to financial topic, but I really believe that financial topics are extremely important. And I just actually saw a video of somebody who was really concerned and not sure still about this culture in Ukraine where men supposed to help. Again, it's not for everybody. But if you made to that point when you are moving to US, your lady is moving to US and you start in life, that is one of the great things. Another thing that she will start to see opportunity in general. There are, of course, more companies, more easier to do business. We have PayPal here, and online businesses are very popular. The truth is, anybody in Ukraine can actually be making a ton of money. The girls that are struggling and working hours and hours for $1 or I don't know, something like that, they could be making very decent money if they would utilize internet, if they would open internet shop and ship worldwide. If they would offer product or service in Ukraine, they could be doing okay. But there is this mentality thing for Ukrainian people is that it's new. They're afraid how this all works. They're afraid of scam. They're afraid to trust, and that is a reason why many talented Ukrainian people do not gain some financial wealth. If you go to Ukraine, many women can make beautiful jewelry. Some of them can make dresses. Some of them can make amazing recipes. I mean, the list goes on. Some of them can teach languages, but when they're trying to sell it in the local market in Ukraine, it's extremely hard, especially when economy collapses. People buy the necessities. They're not out there buying some crafts. But with living in US, the majority of Ukrainian women, after some time, will especially see the power of internet, and that they can make a dream come true and have that hobby that they love turn into something that will bring them all kinds of satisfaction, including the money, the exchange for their value, and that people will value their craft. They will feel that they can actually have a skill, because I can tell you that in Ukraine, most women, they have no idea they have a special skill. And one of the beautiful things about moving to US, a lot of people find and consider you special because of your unique set of skills. Like, for example, you can cook, you can sew, you can create things with your hand, maybe you can draw, but a lot of Ukrainian women know how to sew. I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. When you make your own clothes, they are very, very handy. That would be the word. And they can create things. They don't really think it's anything. But in US, if you do it right, you have some skill, you can really bring value to people and you can get some value back. You have plenty examples to learn from. You can find free video tutorials in now our era on YouTube. You can buy online courses and learn. You can make your own. So it's the list goes on. So there is somewhat of a fear mentality, of the limitation mentality, and somewhat of a pessimistic mentality in Ukraine, because people been through so much, they're extremely afraid to open anything, and because of this consistent default inflation, they are very kind of not ready to make steps and open online business. And this is one of the things that I'm considering helping to Ukrainian women, because I kind of feel that they need some guidance, and it's possible now. You can live anywhere in the world and make money online, and maybe then they would have more confidence, and they would have more pride not to ask early on in a relationship for support. I'm not judging anybody, but I feel bad because sometimes it could have been a great relationship that would last forever, but misunderstanding of expectation Ukrainian woman that her man she is dating will help her, and American man confusion and thinking the worst when a woman asks him for financial support. Sometimes it can prevent a great relationship to start, because that woman is not really a scam. She just have hard time surviving, and this man is not greedy. He's just aware of scam, and he afraid to be scammed, or he afraid the money that the only thing she likes. So that's a little bit of another topic, but I think that if Ukrainian women in Ukraine would know that they could do more things using the new technologies that we have right now and have more money in their pocket, and I think it will happen over time, that would be a bit of another story. It's hard, but guys, again, it's hard for you or for me even to understand how is that you live on extremely tiny budget. So Kevin is asking, is eBay, Amazon, and Etsy available in Ukraine? Yes, there is Etsy for sure. I know that Amazon delivered to Ukraine, but I don't know if you can sell on Amazon in Ukraine, and I don't know if you can sell on eBay on Ukraine, but you can buy things from eBay and sell them in for instance, I know somebody who is buying some unique things on eBay and selling them in their store. I know several people in Ukraine on Etsy that making beautiful handmade things, by the way, and sells them for a good amount of money and ship all over the world. But people are very slow to adjust. I have seen several sellers I came across on Etsy, because you guys might know I sell on Etsy. My first shop is there, and I came across, just because I like the design of several jewelry designer, lingerie designers, dresses designers that were from Ukraine, creating product in Ukraine, shipping from Ukraine, and doing well, really, really well. So, but it's more of a new thing. Not to mention, Ukrainian women can teach Russian. They can, teach how to cook Ukrainian things. Internet is working just fine. Ukraine has high-speed internet, but it's somewhat of a new avenue, and Ukrainian people kind of look at the entrepreneurship as something temporary. It's just something extra. They do not believe that they can ever open something that eventually will grow into full-time living. Although it's not that hard to make $200 if you sell just about anything, So yeah, they have this roadblocks that, you need to have equipment, you need to have the perfect photography, you need to have the lighting, and I'm very tired to explain people that you don't need to have this to start. So I might come up with some teaching and classes if I decide to do that. Right now I have other things I'm working on, but might do that to help women to make some money. So, but we kind of went away from the topic of Ukrainian women living in US and how does it affect their lives, their mind, their mindset, their philosophy. I see a lot of positive things. Once again, I see expanding of their vision of themselves, of their capacities, of their possibilities, of possibilities in their career, and actually huge, if you do it right, they can be a huge shift of self-worth, because all of a sudden finding that your skills are not only needed but they're highly appreciated, it will boost confidence just of about anybody, and especially if somebody who was limited and working in a tough conditions, and basically all their life lived in survival mode. So I see a lot of good things. Another thing, I do see some more positivity. I have to say, one of the things I like about US is that overall there is a culture of positivity. Even though the smiles are not always genuine, and sometimes they look a little bit like masks to us when people just smile, and they kind of like just stretching their mouths, but they're not really smiling. But you know what, when you smile, you have a fake smile 30 times a day, after about a couple months, at least for us, you become smiling for real, because it's becoming your habit. And yes, Joe, I agree, it's gonna take some more than a couple of years to see the change in terms of the person changing here in US, kind of Americanized a little bit. And I don't see anything bad in it, because Ukrainian women already have her culture. And talking about positivity, Russian, Ukrainian, it used to be all the same. I mean, we are one culture. Now we have like political issues in between. That's why it's like everybody is so sensitive about it. But basically, we have one culture, and our classic literature, our history, there is a lot of sadness, there is a lot of suffering, there is a lot of tragedy. If you read all our classic novels, there is a lot of heartbreak and tragedy and suffer. This is our roots. And it's not that we are negative, but it's kind of like this deep empathy thing, and combination of factors. So we tend to be on the sad side sometimes. It's like, for example, when I was in university, some people were thinking that I'm taking some pills because I just like to have fun and be in. Sometimes I could be bubbly at the lectures and laugh and make comments. So I was a really good student, but I would sometimes kind of bring, as they would think, too much laughter to do the classroom. So I had several people and teachers asking me whether I'm taking any pills to be smooth. Oh my gosh. So no, I'm not taking ever any pills. So guys, don't worry about that one. So here is a more positive mindset overall. Overall, it is more positive and more positive outlook on life, and I think it's just based on overall more possibilities. Although we have people here who say there is no possibilities in US, who live in bad neighborhoods, choose not to go to work, receive money from the government. They claim that somebody holds them back because of the background, race, or whatever, and it's such a BS. Because in US, if you want to make it, you're going to make it, and now nobody holds you back, and especially in the time of internet. If you can create a product, if you can create a service, there is absolutely nobody who will hold you back. Yes, you need to learn a little bit, but if you would consider how it is in any other country, you would appreciate actually being in the United States more. So the point is, she probably will become a little bit more positive, and that people overall are less. I believe it does depend on the area, but people are in some ways maybe less have less of unpredictable. Let's put it like this: have less of unpredictable, so they're maybe a little bit more. They're not as worrying as much as in Ukraine, when today dollar is 20, tomorrow it's 29, then it's 50. It's like nobody's controlling it. Like, I feel that there is no control, so our government doing those things. If some of these things would be happening here, I don't know. I think people would walk out of their houses and just shoot everybody. But that's another story, guys. I really don't want to talk about politics because it's very complicated, and the only thing we can change is our own lives. So, and that's another thing that Ukrainian woman will feel when she comes to US. She will feel much more in control of her own life. And her life together with yours and your family. She will feel a lot that she has her destiny a lot more in her hands. She will really appreciate the possibilities. And what else? She will realize that world is a bigger place, and if you can afford some travels and just doing things together, exploring things, most of Ukrainian women would absolutely love to be able to explore in the world together, the States and other countries. So she will be grateful and appreciative of these things that she wasn't able to do in Ukraine. There's gonna be a lot more. I can add a lot more to it. I should make probably several more videos on this. But number one thing that I would say, I believe that Ukrainian women do change in US, and I believe that they change it's a positive change for most people. For most people, I believe it's a positive change. There is a lot of hardship, don't get me wrong. There is a lot of cultural shock, getting used to things. But overall, it's a positive change. It's a step toward opportunities. It's a step to widen your horizons. And it's a step to really create your own life, start new, start fresh. And if she had ideas she wanted to do, if she's maybe entrepreneurial too, she will have the possibility of not afraid of taking those steps. And overall, just, I would say, probably more comfort and less stress would be a change that will help her to become more positive for future and more positive for her life. Possibility, helping her parents or her family, and just see that she can trust people. I mean, like, for example, I'm doing online business now for quite some time. Yet, yes, I have couple of times, maybe 3-4 times, I had people that I dealt with that were dishonest, that steal from me or something like that. But out of thousands of people I dealt with, that's not bad at all. So I do see this country still as a land of possibility. And I think the majority of Ukrainian people will think the same. I would say not just Ukrainian, but all post-USSR countries. So guys, that's the first video. I will consider make some more on this topic, but I do believe that living in US, if you support her right, if she can connect with what she was meant to be doing, will help her to step into her power here and establish herself. Yes, Joe, thank you for the compliment. Not compliment, comment. Yeah. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful Friday night. I have to get as fast as I can because I'm probably gonna be stuck in a 5 p.m. traffic. I gotta go right now. I wish you a wonderful afternoon, wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon. Thank you.